What's going on, everybody? This is Sang Lucci here with another basic video tutorial. Today's video is going to be on how to find stocks to trade and how to find stocks that are going to be in play, and also how to find news on a specific stock or maybe the broad indexes if you're looking for. I try to keep my news sites down to a minimum simply because there's a lot of noise out there, and I try to keep it around to 3 or 4 different sites. I mean, anytime something happens in the stock market to any specific stock or maybe the broad indexes in general, you'll find 100+ analysts out there that are ready to go ahead and tell you what you should be doing with your money, and how you should be playing the stock market, or what's going to happen as a result of said event. That's a lot of noise, and it's too much noise. You need to be able to assess what's going on in the news for yourself and play it however the hell you're going to play it. Don't create a bias simply based on what somebody else says. So with that being said, let's go ahead and check out these websites. So the first one is Marketwatch.com. I'm sure most of you are already aware of it. They keep this very up to date. As you can see, it's around like 7 p.m. right now, so they have this after hours section where they show all the things going on in the after hours. They'll also show the earnings watch. So basically these are all the companies that reported earnings that night or maybe that day. And whenever a company reports earnings, they do have increased volume. So that just means there's going to be more activity. So get used to pulling up these stocks in your platform. So if you see Adobe reported earnings, go ahead and throw ADBE in your stock platform. Take a look at the chart. Take a look at what's been going on. Maybe you'll find a trade. Maybe you won't. So again, this is just ideas and stuff that you should just get used to scrolling through as you get prepared for your day. So, for example, this Research in Motion, this is a stock that I've been watching very frequently, and he moves very well. So anytime there's news on it, I like to go ahead and pull it up, Netflix included. And again, so these are just ideas. Get used to pulling up these charts and taking a look at what they look like. You'll never know what you might end up finding. So Marketwatch does a good job of summarizing everything in the morning. I like to get up at around 8 in the morning and just check the news wires for what happened in the overnight session. So every morning you'll see a top headline here that'll basically summarize what happened in the Japanese markets, what happened in the Asian markets, what happened in Europe. And those may or may not have an effect on the U.S. stock market when we open up. So I like to keep abreast of what's going on in the morning. So another website that I like to use is Yahoo Finance. Now again, they have the top main headlines that you should always kind of breeze through just to get used to what's going on out there and what happened in the overnight session. But they also have a link to a very, very important and useful article that comes out every single morning at around 8:30 to 9 o'clock. You'll see it pop up right here. Obviously you don't see it right now. It is 7 o'clock at night. These things usually show up in the morning, but basically it's this website right here. This is Business Insider, and they have a link for 10 things you need to know this morning before the opening bell. This will pop up every single morning in this list. And basically this gives you the greatest summary that you could ask for what happened in the overnights and what you need to pay attention to for the day. So for example, right now we're in the thick of it with all this Greek debt. So news will be thrown here and links to get more information on that news as well. So anything that's going on in the U.S. economy as well. So if you have housing numbers that we're looking for, or the FOMC is meeting to discuss rates, you'll see it all right here in nice short paragraphs, very easy to read. And basically gives you the whole gist of what's going on out there without having to look at too many articles. So this is one of my favorites. And again, it'll always pop up here in the morning, and you should probably bookmark that site as well. So lastly, we have the upgrades and downgrades. Now this is from Briefing. There are a lot of other sites that do this as well. I like to use Briefing. So basically with these upgrades and downgrades, if you're not aware, there are tons of analysts out there who cover all these stocks for their institutional clients or for their wealthy investors. So, you got guys from Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, all of these brokerage firms who issue guidance for all of these stocks. So On any given day, they might come out and say, hey, we like this stock, so you should go ahead and buy it. Or, hey, we hate this stock, so you should go ahead and sell the damn thing. So, again, take it with a grain of salt, and just assume that you're going to get activity on those stocks. So get used to pulling all these stocks up. Most of them actually will look like shit, and you won't end up actually trading them. But just get used to pulling these things up. This is a great way to build your watch list and to actually find and understand what you actually like to trade, because that's what this whole game is about. It's finding out what you like to trade and then just going after stocks that fit your profile. My profile is for some thick blue chip stocks, and I'll show you that in a later video. Now, if you want to find out about future news, Yahoo has a great tool. If you go under this investing tab and under stocks, you will find a slew of earnings. You can click on this earnings dates, and basically you'll find earnings for the whole day, all the earnings that are coming out for that day, and you can find out when different companies are earnings by simply typing in their tickers right here, and you can find out when they go ahead and report earnings for that quarter. So this is a great resource to use for earnings if you like to play earnings. And then another thing I love to use here is the economic calendar. So this will tell you all the economic data that's coming out for the week. And very often, these numbers move the markets. These numbers have an effect on the broad indexes, which in general have an effect on most of the stocks that you trade as well. So it's important to know what's going on out there and what could move your stocks. So that pretty much wraps it up for this video update. Actually, one more thing. Another great place nowadays to find news is through Stocktwits. Now, if you're not on this site already, or Stocktwits or Twitter, I suggest getting on this site immediately and following some of these traders who post all the time. Now, you'll get a huge feed where you'll see a ton of traders and ton of nonsense. And again, this is more noise and more things to avoid as well, but there are guys out there who constantly post things that you probably should know that are going on in the markets as well. So I suggest getting on Stocktwits and starting to follow some of these guys that post very frequently. You'll know immediately who to follow as soon as you sign up for these things, because again, they post all the time and they post relevant content. But again, at the end of the day, it's important for you to know how to filter out what you need to know and what you don't need to know. You don't need any bias. You don't need to develop a bias, because bias destroys you in the market when you're trading. So it's important to just see the news as it is and go ahead, get used to pulling up all these stocks and then making your own assessment on how you want to trade it or what you want to do with it. So that's it for this video. Stay tuned for our next basic video tutorial.